Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I have my microphone back and I'm very happy about it. So I was tagged by my wonderful friend Dylan, also known as Dynamic Dylan here on YouTube. You can see his channel posted below. I will give you guys his link. If you guys haven't subscribed to him yet, you really should. He's awesome. And he's one of my closest, nearest, dearest friends, and I can't wait to see him in August. He tagged me in my first convention tag, and since I am well versed in the world of conventions, I am looking forward to answering these questions and going from there. So let's just jump right into it, because I don't have a lot of memory left on this card, and I don't have a lot of battery life left on this camera. So let's just get into this. The first question is, what was your very first ever anime convention? And that would be Anime Detour back in 2007. Second question is, where was it? It was here in Bloomington, Minnesota. It was at a hotel that no longer exists, right across the street from the Mall of America, called the Ramada Thunderbird. It was recently torn down, which makes me very sad. I drove by it actually when I went to IKEA the other day, and I drove by it and I cried because so many amazing memories come from that place because of that convention and another convention that was eventually hosted there as well. But yeah, so I'm really sad that that hotel doesn't exist anymore. It was a really cool hotel. It was old, but it was a really cool hotel. And I'm sad that it's gone. Question number 3 is, did you go alone? And yes and no. I did and I didn't go alone. Having this be my home con, I obviously knew a few people that were going that year. And so I kind of hung out with them. One girl that I had actually met many years prior, and she just found out that I was going to Anime Detour, and so she reached out to me and she said, I'm going to Anime Detour with my boyfriend and his best friend, and we will all hang out together. And so I'm sitting there at pre-registration line before pre-registration opens, and these two guys walk up to me and they're like, hey, are you Brit? And I was like, yeah, and they actually became really good friends of mine for a while. I'm actually still friends with one of them out of the 3. Not that I am not friends with the others, it's just we haven't spoken in a very long time. So but yeah, so I did and I didn't go alone, kind of all at the same time. I had people to hang out with, but I didn't go with anybody. Number 4, what was your first impression of the con? To be completely honest with you, being it was my very first convention ever, I was very overwhelmed by so much going on. There were so many people, there was so much to do, and I just felt very overwhelmed. But by 5 o'clock, it turned out I think I was just hungry, and I was just stressed out because I was hungry and I'm hypoglycemic. So I think that it just, everything happening all at the same time just kind of made things a little difficult for me. I felt very overwhelmed, but by 5 o'clock I wanted to go home. I ended up eating some pizza, and we ended up doing some more things with my friends, and life was so much better. And I think that that is what made me fall in love with conventions, was that moment. What was your very first panel? I actually don't remember which panel specifically was my very first, but the very first that I remember going to was actually a voice acting in video games panel that was hosted by Kaya Bear, Melody Spivak, Michael McConaughey, and Carrie Savage. And I actually was chosen to go up on stage and try out some stuff, some voiceover work, and it was really fun. And that's actually how I met Kyle, and we have been friends basically ever since. So it's been really great. And so yeah, that was kind of the first panel that I actually remember. I don't remember if it was specifically my very first panel ever, but it was the first one that I remember. And it was just really fun to get to know those 4, and it was also fun that Kyle and I have maintained a friendship over the last 10 years. So there's that. Number 6 is, what was your first impression of the dealer's room? Again, I was very overwhelmed. It was the very first time I'd walked into a place where there was all of this anime and all of this manga and all of these like knickknacks of all these things. And I remember actually finding a Death Note. I had no idea what Death Note was at the time, and I just kind of opened it up and I was like, why is it just a notebook? And I just kind of threw it. I was like, just overwhelmed. I think that was the year I bought all of the Inuyasha movies that are currently out on DVD. Or that were currently out at the time on DVD. But yes, so I was overwhelmed. Again, just very overwhelmed. My very first convention ever, I just felt super overwhelmed. And number 7, what was your best, what do you think was the best part of the convention for you? And that for me, I have got to say, was probably just the overall initial experience. Feeling overwhelmed, meeting new people. I mean, some of my closest friends in the entire world have come from me going to Anime Detour. Maybe not specifically that year, but going to Anime Detour as a whole. And I love it. I just do. So that whole experience, just the whole convention, was really kind of my favorite part. There really is no part in me that goes, that's the one moment. I think it was just the whole encompassing thing. Staying out until 2 o'clock dancing at Greg's rave and meeting Kyle and hanging out with people and meeting new people and just having a great time. That's all there really is to it. So I will be tagging my friend Melissa, and just to make sure Kio-Chan does it, I will also be tagging Kio-Chan. Get on that. And then anybody else who wants to do this particular thing, and my memory card is about to run out, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye. I just licked my microphone.